Hey all, my name is Kurt and I'm here with Trenton. Welcome back to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And Trenton, as promised, we're going to follow suit today with our Buffalo Trace alternatives, and in specifics, Weller.
I'm going to be really critical of you on this one because these are like my babies up here.
They're very good.
And I know that there's a lot of Weller fans out there, but for some, like weeded bourbons and 4-grain bourbons and ryes are like way up there for me.
Yeah, and I can't blame you. These are all weeded bourbons, as you know, Trenton, and they're very, very good. They really are. So this is difficult. But I just really felt, I don't know why, it just was impressed on me after the comments of our Buffalo Trace Distillery review to try to come up with some alternative options for everybody. And because, as you know, it's just super hard to find basically anything for Buffalo Trace, especially the Weller. And that's just the way it is. So keep in mind, these are all my suggestions. These aren't Trenton's. These are mine. And when we started this series,
I'm just here to judge you on
and I did. And I told Trenton, be hard on me if you think I'm out of my mind with some of this stuff. And if you have a better suggestion as we're going along, give it, because this is all subjective. Yeah. I don't have all the right answers.
You don't?
No. Well, for you, yes, because you're my son. But for most people, no. It's just my palate, what I think about, and this is what I come up with. And I know I haven't had a chance to look at the comments yet, but you told me the first video has
250 some kinds.
Yeah.
Everybody is really passionate about alternatives and what they think are good replacements.
And that's
what
wonderful.
Aren't. And that's great.
That's absolutely wonderful. I love to see that. We all have our opinions, and we all have our own path. And I think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't have all the right answers. I'll promise you that. I
do. No, I don't.
I put up stuff on the bar top so that it can bring some thought process.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And that's what we're all about. So let's get into this trend because we got a lot to cover. Our very first bottle I want to go over here is this Weller Special Reserve.
Goodie.
Now, you remember when we did the Buffalo Trace review, we really liked it. There was a lot of sweetness in there. There was a lot of honey notes in there, a little bit of sweet grain in there.
There's not a lot of bad things you can say about this, and I mean really any of these, but this is rumored, and this is insider info that you guys are getting here. This is rumored to be anywhere from a 7 to an 8-year-old bourbon.
Oh wow!
So for $32-ish MSRP, I know that secondary price runs $55, $60. It's a really good deal.
For $50, it's still a good bottle.
I would pay up to $50 for that because I like it that much.
It's 90 proof, and that kind of follows suit with most of this here. But it's 90 proof, and the first option that I had seemed to make sense to me, and I know it's probably the obvious, Trenton, but Larceny. Larceny's another weeded bourbon. It's 92 proof. It's going to run you roughly the same.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less than $30. The flavors are going to be somewhat close. There is sweetness there, but this adds a little bit more darker flavors. And I don't mean molasses. I'm talking a little bit of baking spice and a hint of caramel and things like that. But there is some honey in there too that I can pick up on, and it has some nice sweetness in that bottle as well. The next bottle I want to show you is a little bit different. It's kind of it's a little bit off the cuff, but it's a weeded option. And please, I'm not trying to draw a parallel with the Weller Special Reserve and this Wilderness Trail weeded, bottled, and bond, because to me, and as you know, Trenton, we went over this. This is an odd bottle for me.
It is, because
when I taste it, I do get some nice flavors in there. There's like a burnt sugar. There's some stuff, but there's a funk in there, and we always call it funk, and I don't know how else to really call it.
It's a funk.
It's just an awkward flavor, but it draws you in. You're gonna have your first sip already.
There's something about that Wilderness Trail funk that I love,
and I can't say it's bad because it truly draws me in to it as well. So it's a little bit different flavor profile for sure than the Weller Special Reserve, but it is a really good option. It's 100 proof, and this particular bottle is going to cost you about $50. Yeah, so
it's just good, man.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. And I thought it was a pretty good option. All right, Antique 107. As you know, 107, it's 107 proof, right? So this one here, Trent, I mean, from here to there, while I pull the bottle, tell them how much it is, because I'm so lost when it comes to this stuff, especially allocated.
I was able to get, and this is a screw top. They don't do the screw top anymore. It's a cork like the foolproof and stuff. Okay. But I bought one a couple years ago, and I've seen the 12 more than the antique, which is super weird.
We talked about that before. Our Ohio friends see this antique way more than the 12.
So I bought one a couple years ago for $45-$50, and that's honestly the last time that I saw it like out in a store anywhere.
Yeah.
And it was a store that's MSRP, so I grabbed it. But this is my second favorite Weller.
Yeah.
At least of the ones that I have.
I love that one too, Trent.
It's so good.
I really do. There's a beautiful, there's some nice sweetness there, of course. You get a little bit of a darker caramel, but there's a really lovely fruit note in there too, like a cherry note in there that I really, really like. But anyways, the first bottle I want to try to put out there for you is Maker's Mark 101 when it comes to somewhat of a comparison or an alternative for Weller Antique 107. Now, this 101, as stated on the label, is 101 proof. It is about $50. So it's not bad on the price. And the flavors, I think, are pretty solid. I mean, it's like a burnt caramel. There's some darker flavors in there, too, a little bit of vanilla. There's a kind of a spicy oak in there, too, that I really like, too, as well.
Well, and this one we were only able to find in Chicago for a couple of years.
Yeah.
They didn't hit Indiana for a while.
Yeah.
So we would pick those up anytime we went to Chicago. But now that they're here, I mean, I drink that regularly.
Yeah, I hope you can find it, too, because we can find them on our shelves all the time here now. So I hope you can as well. I think it's a really, really nice alternative for the 107. I really do. Past that, now this one's going to be another flyer. This one's a weeded bourbon, just like this one. This one is not. But I want to bring it out. You know why, Trent? It's Baker's single barrel. Of course you know why I brought it out.
This is one that I don't know why you brought it up. I don't have any Bakers. I've never tried Bakers that I'm aware of. So let me know.
Well, I'll be honest. It was difficult to find. For the Weller lineup, as good as it is, it was difficult for me. The last video wasn't as hard for me to kind of pull some pretty nice options.
Yeah.
But these are so good, it's hard. But the Baker's here, it is a Jim Beam, you know that. And it's going to be Jim Beam with you. It's not a weeded thing. It's not a weeded bourbon. But it is 107 proof. So, I mean, there is a lot of nice flavors there. I think this was about $60, if I'm not mistaken. $65,
right.
$65, I think. Does that sound right to you?
I see it on shelves. That does sound right. I've just never purchased one myself.
To me, it's got a really beautiful dark caramel in there, but it's got kind of a really neat peppercorn note to it.
Okay.
Now, I know sometimes I say pepper, but this one to me really has like an actual distinct cracked peppercorn note to it, which I think is pretty good as well. So, just an option for you there. A pretty good bottle, nonetheless. All right, moving on down. Weller 12, and in our review, Trenton, if I remember correctly, Weller 12 was the one we were like,
The proof point for me is the bummer about this bottle.
Yeah, 90 proof.
It's good. I just wish it was a little bit higher proof.
That would be remarkable if it was,
proof?
because there's just really no bold flavors in there, but it's very solid, very well rounded. It's caramel, vanilla.
Yeah.
Your basic, really nice bourbon flavors, but just kind of in a toned down fashion, in my opinion. One
kind of a fun fact, though, is as I understand, one of the reasons that Blanton's caught so much traction was that it was on John Wick. Is it like a movie series with?
I've had people tell me that
Reeves.
as well.
The Weller 12 is just featured on Yellowstone.
Get out of here.
So that'll be interesting to see if that kind of sparks a demand for Weller 12 like they did Blanton's. I mean, you can't find this right now. Yeah. Regardless,
I haven't watched one episode of Yellowstone.
I haven't either.
We're really oddballs. People talk about it all the time. I've never seen them.
I haven't either.
Whatever. All right, this one I love. This one I truly love. The first option I want to give for you, if you can't find that Weller 12, is Old Elk Weeded Bourbon. Trent, I know it's lacking in years, because I think this is a 4 or 5 year old bourbon.
It's a 5-year, yeah.
5-year, okay. Now, but what it's lacking in age, it's all over it in creaminess, flavor. It's 92 proof, so it's somewhat the same. But to me, this one drinks so much better, in my opinion, than the Weller 12 as far as the proof point's concerned. And with this one, I get a really nice, like a graham cracker note. There's a really nice fruit note in there too, I think, like a cherry or something like that. And I love the chocolate note that's in there too as well. It's just, to me, it's a really, really nice bottle. I love the Old Elk wheated bourbon. I really do.
Yeah. I like everything that's coming out of Old Elk right now. They're doing some really neat stuff over there. Definitely. And I think this is a solid replacement.
Yeah, it is $75.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I was going to mention. That's a little bit.
It is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So that's that. Next one again, trying another non-weeder in the Jim Beam family, but I picked out Knob Creek 12 years, so it's 100 proof. What is that, about $65?
$65, yeah.
Yeah,
give or take.
Not bad for a 12-year-old bourbon. Did well in our blind taste.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good sweetness there. It is 100 proof, so it bumps up the proof just a little bit, but you get some rich oak in there. You get that rich charred oak note that you get with Knob Creek, and some nice brown sugar, some dark brown sugar notes in there too that I liked really well.
I would have picked the 9-year over the 12-year, but
sure.
That's just me.
What? I'm sure you would have, and that's okay. And that's okay, because like we just spoke about at the beginning of the video, you're entitled to your own opinion.
The thing that sucks is that I picked the 12 over the 9 in the blind.
Yeah, well, blinds are blind, pal. We do it again, it might be opposite.
I'm picking the 9 for sure if we do it again.
We might. All right, now the last one is the hardest one for me.
And the best one.
Then that's why. This Weller Full Proof to me is one of the best bottles I have. I don't think I can rank them 1 to 5. I haven't thought about what I have my best 5 in the bar, but
that'd be a good.
I would have to. Oh yeah, you're going to put me on that, aren't you?
Coming soon.
Oh wow.
Shouldn't have said it.
That'd be a top. I'd be days thinking about that one.
Get the list going.
I have to think this one's in the top 5 though, Trent, because it's just so creamy. Remember, creamy and rich and dark molasses and some dark brown sugar and some. Oh, it's just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think,
it's a lot of going on. Is that it?
This is what I have right here.
And this is a Wolfgang puck pick, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever tried yours. I haven't opened one at home.
It's just so good. It really, really is phenomenal. And I don't know, Trent, what is that? $50, $60? Retail? I don't even know, to tell you the truth.
I feel like I bought one a year or two ago for like $36.
You said that in the other video, and that's just insanity.
Yeah.
Insane.
I've never been more lucky in my life. Well, apart from the birthday bourbon this year.
Can we just say that if you get pretty much any of these around $50, $60 in the Weller, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. So, this was difficult because I love this bottle, but this one I'm going to pull out now, I think is stellar.
Those are two good options.
I think it's stellar, dude.
Yeah.
I really do. Maker's Mark cast strength. Let's see. This one's 114 proof, and Trenton, my bottle here. This varies. 110.1 proof. All right. I love that Maker's Mark cast strength.
That's a great
really,
bottle.
really do. It's not quite as viscous, to be truthful, as the Weller, but the flavors are there.
Yeah.
Big time. Big time molasses, caramel, vanilla. Beautiful stuff in that Maker's Mark cast strength for about $50, $60.
And you can't go wrong with Makers. You just can't, especially when you get into that higher proof stuff. Yeah. It's hard to beat for the price.
It's another weeded option too.
Yeah.
So I was happy with that.
Yeah.
I was happy with that. Now this one's a little bit of a stretch. I wanted to really to give due justice to this bottle because I think it's just that good.
There's not another one.
So, Trenton, here I got. Set it down there, buddy. I got 1792 full proof. I know it's hard to find. I tend to think it's a little more on the easier side to find for allocateds than not. Is that accurate, or am I?
I don't know, because there's been times where I see that on the shelf often, and there's times where I don't see it for months on end.
Right.
I don't really know. I know that the full proof store picks are like few and far between.
What does that run?
$50, $55, I think.
Some of their $50, $60 range is 125 proof. And that one, again, That one's very good.
Yeah.
It's really nice and syrupy with a beautiful red fruit note in there too. Nice and sweet, viscous. Really, really nice bottle. I apologize. I do know it's a little bit of a stretch, but that's about the best I could do for this bad boy right here, because it's just, that Weller Full Proof is stellar. It really is.
Yeah.
If you ever come across this, don't pass it for a decent price.
And
really good.
I will say, like, just quickly, so everybody's a little bit educated on secondary, like 250, 300-ish. Store picks go for around 350. This is anywhere from 200 to 250. The antique, like 85 to 110, and then this will go for like 55, 60 bucks on secondary market. So if you see one, just be aware that the prices could be like astronomical at some stores. And a lot of the stores that get this stuff, they either are on the shelf for a few minutes before they get scooped up, or they're just behind a counter somewhere and you never know they exist. So
Yeah.
They're all great options, but unfortunately a little bit tough to come by. But I will say, you did good.
Hey, I'm shocked, because these, as you said, are your babies, and you didn't rip me on any of them, really. Yeah, you kind of raised your eyebrows on a couple. I have to get, and I understand
the Baker's was an interesting choice. I'll have to try that.
I get it. I understand.
But like for the foolproof, I will say, like, it's super hard to find a suitable replacement, because there's some bottles that just are so good that there's just no replacement for, and this is on the cusp.
That's very close to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very good. All right, well, I'll tell you what, this was a lot of fun. We're going to follow up Friday with the finale of this little series, and we're going to dig out some Colonel E.H. Taylor and throw in a couple special goodies, maybe a Stag Junior, and see if I can con my brother out of that Rock Hill Farms one more time.
Good luck.
I know, and that's tough too, because that was one of our favorites.
Yeah,
never had it before, but it's so good. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, I'm just trying to give you some options for alternatives for Buffalo Trace products, because they're just so hard to find. But as always, you're the consumer. You have the right to say yes or no, and your choice is just as good as mine. So I'd love to hear what you have for the Weller lineup in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you all so much. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly, and see you next time right down here with Trent and I in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later. That's about 15 minutes. We just can't do it.
No. Yeah, it's fine.